Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
President Donald Trump made a surprise announcement that changed things for the U.S. and Japan. He revealed a new trade deal between the two nations. The president called the agreement massive and historic, saying it would bring great benefits to America. This deal marks a big shift in how the two powerful countries do business with each other. The new plan has two main parts that are very important. First, the United States will place a new 15% tax on all products imported from Japan. This type of tax is called a tariff. It means that popular Japanese goods, like cars and electronics, might cost more for American consumers. The second part of the deal is a huge promise from Japan. The Japanese government agreed to invest $550 billion into the United States. This is an enormous amount of money. The goal of this investment is to create many new jobs and help the American economy grow. This agreement is a major change from the past. The rules for trade between America and Japan were different for many years. This story will explore the New Deal. It will look closely at what this big change means for regular people, large companies, and the future of both countries. 2. What is the deal? The new trade agreement between the United States and Japan has three main parts. It is a big and important change for how the two countries do business with each other. Understanding these parts helps to see why the deal is so significant. The first part is a new tax, which is called a tariff. The U.S. government will put a 15% tax on all products that come from Japan. This includes popular items like cars, computers, and other electronics. This new tariff means it will be more expensive for Japanese companies to sell their products in America. This is a very different plan from past trade deals, which often tried to make taxes lower, not higher. The goal of this tax is to make American products more competitive. The second part of the agreement is a huge investment from Japan. The Japanese government and companies have promised to invest $550 billion into the United States. This is an extremely large amount of money. It is one of the biggest single foreign investments ever made in American history. This money can be used to build factories, improve technology, and create many new jobs for American workers across the country. The third part of the deal is the most surprising and has caused a lot of discussion. President Trump stated that America will get to keep 90% of all the profits made from this huge Japanese investment. Profits are the money that is left over after a business pays all its costs. This is a very unusual rule. In most international investments, the company that invests the money keeps the profits. Experts are not sure how this 90% profit-sharing plan will work. They are asking for more details to understand the special rules for this part of the agreement. 3. A look at the past. To understand today's new agreement, it is important to look at the past. The United States and Japan have a very long history of trade. After the Second World War, Japan's economy grew very fast. The country rebuilt itself and became a world leader in making and selling high-quality products. This started a new and important period of business between the two countries. For many decades, they were two of the most important trading partners in the world. Their economic relationship was strong but also complex. However, this relationship was not always simple or easy. In the 1980s, there were many disagreements and serious problems. Japan was selling a huge number of products, especially cars and electronics, to America. But America was not selling as much to Japan. American leaders and business owners worried about this trade imbalance. They felt that Japan's trade rules were not fair. They believed Japan made it too difficult for American companies to sell their products in Japanese markets. This created a lot of tension and led to difficult negotiations between the two governments. In more recent times, the situation changed. For many years, both the U.S. and Japan supported the idea of free trade. They often worked in large groups with many other countries to make trade easier for everyone. For example, Japan joined a large trade group of Pacific countries. And in 2019, the U.S. and Japan signed a smaller, limited trade deal. That agreement lowered taxes on certain agricultural and industrial products. It was an example of the kind of open trade deals that were common before. This new deal announced by President Trump is a very big change from that history. It is not a free trade agreement that includes many countries. It is a bilateral deal, which means it is an agreement only between the United States and Japan. The focus now is on making trade more balanced and reciprocal. This is a completely new direction for the economic relationship between America and Japan. It shows a major shift away from the policies of the last few decades. 4. What does it mean for money? This new agreement will change how money moves between America and Japan. It will affect the daily lives of regular people and the plans of big companies. The results will be different for everyone. Some people will find new opportunities to earn money, while others will face new financial problems. These economic changes will be felt in many parts of the U.S., from big cities to small towns. The new 15% tax on things from Japan is the first change most people will see. For American shoppers, this will likely mean higher prices in stores. Many popular products, from electronics like video game systems to cars, come from Japan. Because of the new tax, the cost for these items will probably go up. This means families might have to spend more on the things they like. Some small businesses that sell Japanese goods are also worried. They fear they will lose customers if their prices get too high. The American car industry faces a very different future. Many cars from Japanese companies like Toyota and Honda are popular in America. A lot of these cars are built inside the U.S., but they still use important parts that are made in Japan. These imported parts will now have the 15% tax. This will make it more expensive to build the cars, so the final price for customers will likely rise. This change might help American car companies sell more vehicles. However, it also creates challenges for businesses that depend on a smooth international supply chain to operate. On the other hand, the deal brings very good news for jobs. Japan has promised to invest a huge amount of money, $550 billion, into the United States. This is one of the largest foreign investments in history. This money is expected to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs for American workers all over the country. The jobs could be in many sectors, including manufacturing, technology, and construction. For many communities, this part of the deal is a promise of more work and a stronger local economy. So, while some things may cost more, many people may also have a better chance to earn a good living. 5. What people think. The new trade deal between America and Japan is big news, but not everyone agrees if it is a good thing. People have very different ideas about it. In the United States, the reactions are mixed. Some American business owners are happy. These are people who own companies that make things in America. They say the new 15% tax on Japanese products will help them. Their products will be cheaper than similar products from Japan. They hope this means more people will buy American goods. This could help their businesses and create jobs. But other business owners are worried. Many American companies use parts from Japan to make their own products. For these companies, the new tax is a problem. It will make the Japanese parts more expensive. This means they will have to spend more money to make their products. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a large group that represents many businesses, is also worried that the tax will raise prices for everyone. Politicians also have very different opinions. President Trump's party, the Republicans, love the deal. Republican leaders say it is a big success. They think the deal protects American workers and brings a lot of money into the country from the Japanese investment. They believe it will make America stronger. On the other side, Democrats are not sure about the deal. They are concerned about the new tax. Democratic leaders say that the tax will make life more expensive for American families. They think prices for things like cars and electronics will go up. They want to know more about how the deal will work and if it will really help people. Japanese leaders are very careful in their response. They understand that things are changing. They hope the new agreement will provide stability for their businesses that work in America. Labor unions in the U.S. have given some support. They hope the deal will protect factory jobs, but they are waiting to see what happens. 6. The world is watching. The new trade agreement between the United States and Japan was not just big news for them. Leaders all over the world started to pay close attention. This deal was very different from past agreements. It was a big change, and other nations wanted to understand what it meant for them. The world was watching because this could change the rules of global trade for everyone. In Europe, leaders from the European Union, EU, watched the news carefully. The EU is a large group of countries that trades a lot with the United States. They were also in trade talks with America. They worried that President Trump might ask for a similar deal with them, maybe with new taxes on European products. This made them nervous about their own businesses and economies. China also watched with great interest. The U.S. and China have had many disagreements about trade. Some Chinese officials thought the U.S.-Japan deal could be a new model. Maybe it was a way to solve trade problems. But they also saw a risk. This kind of special one-on-one deal could make global trade more complicated for every country. The news was especially important for other American friends in Asia. South Korea was very concerned. South Korean companies sell many of the same things as Japanese companies, like cars and electronics. They compete directly with Japan in the American market. With this new deal, Japanese products might become more competitive. Leaders in South Korea quickly said they wanted a similar deal with the U.S. They needed to protect their businesses. Other countries in the region, like Australia and Taiwan, also started to think about their own trade relationships with America. Some experts worried about the World Trade Organization, or WTO. The WTO has rules for how all its member countries should trade. For example, a country should usually give the same trade conditions to all its partners. This new U.S.-Japan agreement seemed different. It might not follow the old rules. This one deal was making everyone rethink the future of international trade. 7. Making it happen. Announcing the new trade deal was the first step. The next step is to make it work in the real world. This will not be easy. There are many challenges and difficult questions about the agreement. The American government has to find answers to these questions. The new 15% tax on Japanese products is the simplest part of the deal. This tax will probably start in about 1 month. Companies that sell Japanese goods will have to prepare for this change. But the other parts of the deal are much more complicated. The investment plan is a big challenge. Japan promised to invest $550 billion in America. This is a very large amount of money. The investment will not happen all at once. It will be spread over many years. Right now, there is no clear plan for this. People want to know where the money will go. Which states or industries will get the investment? How will the government make sure Japan keeps its promise? These details are still missing. Another big question is about the 90% profit rule. The deal says America will get 90% of the profits from Japan's investment. This rule is very unusual. Many experts are confused about it. Normally, the company that invests keeps most of the profit. For this new rule to work, the U.S. and Japan will need to create special new laws. It is not clear how they can force companies to follow this rule. It is a big legal problem to solve. Finally, the deal could create problems for many people and businesses. When the new tax starts, prices for Japanese products will likely go up. Things like cars, computers, and other electronics could become more expensive for American shoppers. This will affect family budgets. Small businesses could also be hurt. Many small companies use parts from Japan to make their own products. With the new tax, their costs will increase. Unlike big companies, they may not be able to pay the higher prices. This could make it hard for them to stay in business. There are many problems to fix before this deal can happen successfully. 8. What happens next? This new trade agreement between the United States and Japan is very large and complex. It is not like the trade deals of the past. The plan has two main parts: a 15% tax on products from Japan and a promise of a $550 billion investment in America. This deal changes the rules for both countries. The future of the relationship between the two nations could go in two different directions. On one hand, it could become much stronger. The huge investment is more than just money. It is a plan to build things together, like new factories and technology centers. This shared work can create a deeper partnership and make the two countries stronger allies. It shows a commitment to a shared future. On the other hand, the deal could create new problems. The new tax will make Japanese goods more expensive. If American consumers have to pay much higher prices for cars or electronics, they might be unhappy. Japanese companies could lose business, and this might lead to disagreements between the two governments. This could damage the trust that has been built over many years. The rest of the world is also watching closely. This deal could change global trade. Other countries may feel that the U.S. is leaving them behind. It could weaken organizations that create trade rules for everyone. Other allies might ask for their own special deals, which would make international business more complicated and uncertain. The biggest question is about making the deal happen. The investment plan is very big. Who will decide where the money goes? The strange rule about America getting 90% of the profits is also very confusing. Nobody is sure how this will work. The success of the entire agreement depends on these difficult details. If the plan is not managed well, it could fail. Only time will show if this bold agreement is a success or a failure. It is a big experiment. We will have to wait to see the real results for workers, companies, and the world. What part of this trade deal do you think will be the most difficult to make happen, and why?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.